Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Line Mask. I just want to let you guys know in this episode, I'll be introducing to you my friend, the cat. We've been friends. Well, I'm not gonna really say what I'm gonna say, but I just want to give you a little heads up that in this episode, we do end up talking about politics, sexual orientation, and we do talk about some things here and there. So just a little heads up, FYI, just so you guys are prepared. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Gentlemen, my name is Align Max. Align Mask. I don't know why I say Max for some reason, but I got a special guest right here. He's been friends with me since high school. I want to say since I was a junior. Are you a year younger than me, or were you the same age?
I believe I was a year before you, like a year younger. Yeah, I think you graduated a year before me, then I graduated next year.
I'm 2011, so are you 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I was a junior, he was a sophomore. For the sake of protecting our identity, I don't know if you want to go by as the cat.
I don't know, I guess.
Alright, so the cat. When we were in high school, we had to make a movie for a class, to be more specific, drama class.
Yep.
And as soon as we made the movie, we had to present it for the class. After we presented it, I said this movie was bullshit, and you agreed with me. Now why would we both say such a thing?
Because it was bullshit.
But that is actually a true story. We did meet in high school. I want to say, is that how we met? Was because of drama class, or was it the drama club?
Drama club. I have no idea. We both, I think we were in drama club before we were in drama class together. With a couple other people that we also kind of hung out with.
Yeah, I want to say it was drama club first, because that's how I got into drama class, was because of the club.
I used to just go there, and at first it wasn't like I wasn't in the class. I was going there to just blow off some time after school because I was bored, you know.
But it's always a good thing to pick up a hobby or two, or just fuck around.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we did have to make a movie. It was bad. I don't even remember what the movie was, to be honest.
I think it was about I remember I played like a detective or something in that movie. I think you were like a killer or something. I don't remember, but it was like me and you. I think it was some like blonde girl, and then like that one guy with the glasses. I'm not sure if you remember him.
The guy with glasses.
I remember him.
I want to say Darius, but he didn't wear glasses, did he?
No, it was some dude that we got paired off with.
Oh, I remember. He used to hang out with, what was his name? What was it? I want to say it was Mike, but no, it wasn't Mike.
I don't remember the dude's name. All I know that he was kind of nerdy, and he did all the editing and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I had fun, even though the movie was bullshit.
Of course it was bullshit. I mean, it's both of us. Like, back then, we were just a bunch of, like, clowns and shit.
And, the blonde girl, we used to call her Sunshine Brittany.
Yes, because, well, interesting thing, listeners, she had, I think, like, one of her parents passed away, and she would say it, but in a very happy tone, like, oh, my parents passed away.
Yeah, that's why we called her Sunshine Brittany. Well, because we also knew another Brittany, but she was goth, too, wasn't she?
I don't even remember. When we were in class together, I believe there was 3 Britneys in that class.
Was there 3?
There was 3. There was one that was, I don't know, it was like, because there was 2 of them were blonde, and I think the other one was the goth one.
I'm trying to remember, like, I think that's how we also came up with the nickname, not just because, you know, she announced that her parent died, and she said it in a most loving way, apparently.
Oh yeah.
So that's why we just say, alright, she's Sunshine Brittany. Meanwhile, we got Goth Brittany, and there was a 3rd Brittany, but I think we just called her Brittany.
Yeah, just Brittany.
And did you take, I want to call it shop, but it wasn't shop, it was...
No, I did not take that. That was you and our other friend Tommy took that.
Yeah, it was me, Tommy, and Brittany. I forgot what it was called, but we were the one that able.
Yeah, build the works thingies for the plays and whatnot.
Yeah, it was a little fun. We got to play with saws, which I was like thinking, damn, bunch of high school kids with saws and shit. Like, oof.
It's a miracle no bad stuff happened, no fingers were lost,
Right. And I remember the good old times when we used to go to First Fridays. In case some of you guys don't know, here in Arizona, it's still a thing, right? Yeah, it's still a thing. First Friday.
It is.
Yeah, First Friday is like downtown Phoenix. They have this event that every first Friday of the month. How would you really describe it?
Well, it started out as an art event where all the like art galleries and like museums would just be free to enter, and families, I guess kids, us, because we were kids back then too. We wouldn't actually go inside the museums and all that. We would just walk around in the streets, hanging out.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it was. You would walk downtown, the art district, Roosevelt Street of Phoenix, and just walk around and to look at art and stuff. They would have like people would come out and perform. Actually, at little events, because back then there was like historic buildings and like art buildings, galleries, and a bunch of empty plots of land where people would like juggle, or like a local rock band would come in to perform.
And also people would give away monsters and Red Bulls.
At first, yeah. Oh yeah, when we were in high school, yeah, the people would come in, there'd be like a party bus that just drive around, blasting music, like rave music. Yeah, people would go around, like the official Monster Rockstar in their like trucks and whatnot, just give out free Red Bulls, free monsters, free things, like free soda, free everything. Like it was fun.
Those were the good old times, the golden times where you used to get free stuff. Nowadays, prices are up.
If you go down there, is nothing like everything is sold. Like the food trucks come in and they want to sell you everything. No longer free, nothing. And it's a family-friendly event now. So you would have people walking around with their kids. So therefore, the police enforce the rules. As soon as it hits 10, everything got to shut down. And pretty much things just die then after that.
Yeah, because I remember this one time that when back then you almost got arrested.
Oh yeah,
because you were like screaming "fuck the police."
I was drunk, okay?
Yeah, you were drunk. Somehow, I was able to convince the cop, like, no, let him go. He's just an idiot. So he was like, all right, just get the fuck away from me.
Basically.
Speaking of idiots, not only is First Friday do like art stuff, and you got local bands playing their music. There used to be these empty spots completely open for everyone,
where people would just go and drink or smoke weed or something.
Right. But more importantly, is where the Christian people would come in.
Oh yeah, I remember that. They would come in and start preaching their stuff, and people would just like surround them and start like, I don't know, like protesting against them, I'd say. Like,
I wouldn't really say protesting per se. It was just mostly kids being stupid, say like, "Hail Satan!" Like, it's all about the devil.
Yep.
And I was telling Felix this, or damn, I said,
oh well, whatever.
Remember, guys, it's the cat, not the other name. But I was telling him that I remember this one time when we were walking around, this priest or Christian guy, I don't know what you want to call him, but he had like 10 layers of barricades surrounding
he almost
him.
got his ass beat. Like the previous First Friday, he would just sing like the weirdest shit ever. He was saying, "Y'all gonna burn your hell, y'all deserve it," or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like those weird, how like those weird Christians go and protest like the funerals of like soldiers and stuff. Kind of some shit like that. Like, y'all gonna burn in hell. Calling people, the F word for like prefer someone who's homosexual and stuff like that.
That's the one thing I never really got about Christianity, or basically almost any religion, when the point of the Bible is to spread love. But yeah, they're the most angry, hated people.
Oh yeah, so like, because he used to be there just preaching out in the open, never barricades. Like he once got into a fight with like people because they were because he was saying shit to them. not sure if it was a guy or a girl like punched him or something.
I didn't see that part.
Or almost punched him.
I remember when I don't know, a kid was saying something stupid, and then finally the guy probably snapped or something, and out of nowhere he's like, "Oh, I bet your mom beats you, huh?" I was like, "Okay, dude, what the fuck?" He's like 15, 16 years old.
He's a grown-ass man.
And you're like talking to him like this? Like, come on, dude. I understand he's saying stupid shit, but it's like, hey, you know what? He's just a dumb kid. I'm not gonna say stupid shit.
If you're an adult, you know, you gotta act like it. And so when a kid just says dumb shit, you just ignore them. I mean, they're kids. They still got their future ahead of them. They got more to learn. But, like, back to what we were saying, this dude, yeah, like, the next time he had, like, private security with him. And then after that, when he was surrounded with like 10 layers of barricaded walls where you couldn't get nowhere near him, because he would just like have like a layer of like, he was like, you know, here he had like a layer and then like a layer and layers of barricades.
Right.
It's like, dude, what the heck? This guy's more protecting the damn president.
Right. I like how we're talking about this and there's like my brain surgery going on right here. So
oh yeah, that's long.
So just to like get you guys a little point of view, I decided to do my podcast this way just because I haven't really got my camera equipment shit ready, so I got my gameplay playing at the same time, and we have a second screen right in front of us so we can see what you guys are seeing. So yeah, it is pretty funny that we're talking about all this shit meanwhile you're seeing some brain surgery shit going on right now.
That's pretty hilarious.
So what else have you been up to? Like, you been working at the same job?
Yeah, pretty much. Just whatever.
Because you know, I worked at McDonald's for 5 years, and here's a little life tip: if you work for a company and they ask you to stay for just for like an hour or two, I would say no.
Yeah,
just say no, because unless you really need the money, like you're like, hey, I need this money to pay off my bills, or I need to pay rent, or I need to buy groceries, and these 1 or 2 hours can really help me out, I'll say, yeah, do it. If you need the money, do it. But if you're doing it just because of, like, oh, if I help them out, they're gonna help me out in the future. It's like, no, they don't really care. They don't care about you. They don't give a fuck about you. Because here's a true story. This happened to me. I worked at McDonald's for 5 years. I will always stay a few hours. I will come in on my days off. There'll be times where I'll be getting off of work, and then an hour later they'll be like, hey, can you come back in? We really need help. And I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll help you guys out. So I'll come back in, and I'll come in before hours to like clean the restaurant. Yeah. Because to me, I was thinking, hey, if I help them out, they can help me out later on in the future.
Nah, you see, when you start helping out like that and going in early, staying after, they expect that from you. It's no longer, oh, can you help us out? It's not, you gotta do it because this is your job. They see you doing it over and over again, they start expecting it.
Right.
And then that one day when you like gotta go home early because you got an emergency, they're like, you have to stay, and then they'll be like, either you stay or you're fired.
Right.
That's usually what happens. And you're like, well, hurt me or I quit because, you know, I gotta go.
Right.
So like never give extra to a company that don't give a shit about you, because they don't.
Yeah. And like I said, if you're just doing it because you need the money, then go for it. Yeah, if you need the money, do it. But if you're doing it and expecting help in return, yeah, they're not gonna help you. They truly do not give a fuck about you.
Yeah, and also they're not gonna promote you just because you stay extra.
Or it doesn't matter how long you stay for that company. At some point, they're gonna stop giving you raises.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it works. Sorry for not being sorry.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
So, I know we were going to talk about some other things, but I forgot. But luckily, I text them to you, so at least I do remember. But how about we get into like some serious things? Like, so have you heard about people being gender identitors?
Gender identitors.
For example, like, if all of a sudden I came up to you like, hey, Kat, I am now identified as a woman. Therefore, you must call me Miss, Ma'am, Woman, anything that's female related. You have to call me that. Otherwise, I will be offended if you call me a man.
Call me I if that's what you like. I guess. I mean, now I'll probably forget a bunch of times, and you would have to remind me. But I don't really see a problem with that.
Here's the thing. It's like the same way too. Like if you want me to call you a miss, you want me to call me ma'am, you want me to call you ma'am. Hell, if you want me to call you a basketball, because that's a thing nowadays too. Like,
is it?
Yeah.
No. All right.
No, you'd be surprised nowadays. I don't know if you heard, but there's more than 2 genders now. There's agender. What is it? Agender, male, female, trans.
I have no idea because I don't really follow that, but I guess to each their own.
Like there are people that will tell you like, "Hey, I'm not a guy." Then what are you? I am a golf ball. And I'm just like, what exactly is that supposed to be?
Now, are they like real or is that?
No, this is like a real thing.
Are you sure it's not just like trolling?
No, this is like a real thing. Like people are really going out there and saying like, no, there's more than 2 genders. There's like millions of genders now. Like literally people could be whatever they want. You could be a football, a basketball, an animal, a tic-tac. You can identify as whatever and people just have to accept it all of a sudden.
That's a little... Well, I mean, I get the whole like identifying as a woman or a man or like even being gender fluid or non-binary as whatever it is, but that other stuff, that just kind of like, okay, that's a little bit too far. I'm not gonna call you a damn golf ball or some shit. That's just weird.
And here's what I'm thinking too. Like somebody came up to me and said like, oh, I identified as a golf ball. Like, but you're a man. I'm offended. Okay, first of all, if you identify as a golf ball, why are you offended? A golf ball is just an object.
Exactly.
Like if I grab a golf ball and said, hey, you're a football, is it gonna tell me something? Is it gonna talk shit to me? No.
Now, what would their pronouns be if they're a golf ball?
That's just it. Just a golf ball. Yeah.
Okay.
You just call them a golf ball.
Okay.
Or like if you're trying to like point someone out, like if I was like, hey, Ken, oh look, it's that golf ball. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna be like looking around like, dude, I don't see a fucking golf ball. Like, it's walking. Look, there goes the golf ball. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? First of all, I don't see any balls at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I guess everything's a thing nowadays. I mean, there's people out there that like are, what do you call it, trying to be like a different race than they were born. You know, like you got like white ladies trying to pretending to be black and whatnot. Like, is that part of like the whole like gender things, or is that like all of a sudden like racism because it's doing with race?
I don't even know if that's considered racism if they're like being serious about it. Like if all of a sudden I decide to say, hey, you know what, I'm white.
Because you know that is a thing. Like there's people who like they'll go on Ancestry.com. It says you're like 2% black. They'll be all like, I'm black. I identify as black. It's like meanwhile they're like pasty as heck.
Right.
Like I don't even know that. Is that like, would that be a part of that? And then we got...
I'm assuming it is because, like I said, that's why people are so offended so easily about every little thing. It's because it's not just, like racial jokes or whatever thing. It's also about gender identities. And so, like I was saying, rewinding a few steps. Like, if you were to come up to me and say, hey, I identify as a woman, and I would say, okay, I'll take it serious, but at the same time, I won't.
Right.
For example, like if you told me I identify as a woman, okay, I'll call you a woman. I'll call you miss, I'll call you ma'am, I'll call you whatever.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, you get shot, or you decide to stab me, and I survive, and the police comes up to me and said, hey, was this a male or a female that did this to you? Obviously, I'm going to tell them this was a male.
Right.
Because what are you going to tell the police if this happened to you?
I don't know. I'd be like, well, it's a man who identifies as a woman but looks like a man or something.
But then what if the police like, so was this a woman?
Well, I think that is probably. It all depends because there's some police officers who will go along with that, and there's others who would, be like, no, it's got to be a man or a woman. Because you got nowadays, you got like cops that are like, like bisexual, lesbians, gay. Heck, they might even be allowing transgender police officers next. So some of them are obviously a part of that, so they might just go with it. So I don't know, but it's one of those things that you kind of think about.
But to be honest, like if it was me, I was like, no, this was a male.
Right.
Like he had a beard, he had long hair.
Right.
Like this is obviously a male. He's gonna probably tell you I'm a female, but no, he is a male. This is what he did to me.
Right. Yeah, I guess. Well, it all depends on if they like transitioned or not. Because if they like got like a female features, because that's the thing. Some people transition. Like there's like women who are born as women, but they feel like a man, so they take testosterone. They cut their hair short, and they look like a dude. Like for example, like Ellen Page transitioning to Elliot Page, who used to look like a female, now looks like a dude.
So I have seen like some females transitioning into like more of a man than I look.
Yeah, so at that point it's like it's a dude.
Like that's definitely a guy. Like I've seen like they literally cut off their tits. They're freaking muscular. Their jawline is like
they take
perfect.
Testosterone and they look more manly than a man. So at that point it's like, yeah, that's a dude. But if it's like like for example, like if it were like say me or you, like we look like dudes, so of course it'd be, oh yeah, it's a dude who did it.
Right.
But if they look like a woman, even though you knew like they were born a man, then I'd say, yeah, it's a woman to look like a woman.
Right. So again, because I got a feeling I'm gonna piss a lot of people off.
Probably.
So it's like I'll take it serious, but at the same time I won't take it serious. Like you come up to me, you're a guy, but you said, hey, you know what? I identify as a woman. I will respect you and say, okay, you're a woman, you're a female. I'll call you all the female things. But if all of a sudden, I piss you off to the point that you stab me,
I think, I guess at the heat of the moment, you might just forget, or because I know I probably might.
Right.
If someone's like tells me they identify as the opposite gender that they were born, like, oh, I'm a woman now or something. I'd be like, all right, cool. But I might just forget every once in a while.
But like, what about when it comes to like hospitals? Like, what if they needed to go to a hospital to do some surgery? And I didn't really know until I found out. I want to say like a couple days ago, but I think it was like last week or whatever. But I guess it does depend what gender you are, is how they will do the procedure. Like I guess they do certain ways for females and they do certain ways for males.
Well, I think at that point people usually disclose, but because if they don't, then there's that possibility that they receive the wrong treatment and more harm gets done to them. So that's a different thing, I'd say, because it's not something like you were between like one person or another. That's between like that person and their physician at that time. So I think that's a little bit different.
Right, but like, so let's say like there's a guy who identifies a woman.
Right.
He's in a coma, but he needs surgery. So they did the surgery on him. They did the male procedure, and then when he wakes up, or I should say, when she wakes up,
right,
and finds out like no, they did the male procedure instead of the female procedure. And she decides to get pissed at the doctor.
Well, I think at that point it's like, I think they have like, doctors have protections for that. Well, I'm not really sure, to be honest, because I'm not a doctor, so I don't know about that.
But this is what I mean, like when it comes to like,
yeah, it's like a very complex thing, to be honest. It's not something that I normally think about.
It's like, I'll respect it, but I won't take it serious.
Right.
Like, I
get what you mean, yeah.
So I just want to clear that out for the audience because I don't want them to be like, oh, so
you're a transphobe or whatever.
I have been called that on TikTok because
Right.
Have you heard of gender fluid?
Yeah, that's like where apparently people don't identify as either gender, and some days they're like, I'm a man, other days like they're a woman. It's like, personally, I think that's like I think there's probably something wrong with you mentally if you can't decide what gender you are. Like I said, I understand being a man, I understand being a woman, I even understand like the whole trans thing. Then when you're like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, it's like, okay, I mean, I don't know.
So it's like you're basically juggling both genders, but you're just not 100% sure
I don't know.
who are you
Is
are
it like
more.
a form of ADD, ADHD? I don't know.
Would you say that's the same thing as being transgender?
Probably not, because they're not transitioning. Like, because a transgender person usually just identifies as the opposite of what they were born as. So a woman identifying as a man identifying as a woman. And whereas gender fluid, they're like, oh yeah, this day I'm a man, the next day I'm a woman, and they usually, I believe, I'm not sure, but I think they have like different wardrobes. Like they'll have dresses, but then they'll also have like jeans and like a t-shirt. Like, and some days they'll dress like a guy, sometimes they'll dress like a girl.
Right. And see, that's what I thought too. I was thinking of, that's what a gender fluid is that they don't identify as a male, they don't identify as a female, because one day they're this, one day they're the other,
Right.
which is understandable. But this is why I was getting called out transphobic, and I got a lot of people backing me up on it too. They're all like, "You're not transphobic, you're just being stupid."
Right.
So I'll admit I was kind of in the wrong on this because man, I don't know if you can kind of see from right here, but the mask at the top left.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so apparently that's an African American. I did not know that. I don't know if you want to say that to the mic.
I don't know how that looks like an African American. I don't see it. I just
Well, here, let me bring the mask for the audience to see.
yeah, 'cause I can't see it too well from here either. It's kind of dark over there where you have it. Something so they can see.
It's just my water thing.
I was just trying to like grab it, hold it up to the camera so they can see.
But yeah, apparently this is an African American person.
That doesn't look like an African American. It looks like a zombie or a monster or something from a video game.
Yeah, it is. This is actually from a video game. So his backstory is that he was a doctor,
Right.
but his professional was torturing people to get information out of them.
Huh.
And the only way he did it was by not electrocuting, but like shock their
Therapy.
brains. Like, what was it?
Shock therapy?
Yeah, that's what he would do.
Alright.
Like, he would shock him until he said, "Give me the information." So that's what all this equipment was like. All this was like coming electricity in his head,
Right.
electricity in his eyes. Like, he was really experimenting with electricity.
Uh-huh.
So that's why he has all these markings right here, because this is all the burn marks he got from the electricity.
Right.
But I didn't know. When I first saw this thing, I thought this was like a monster. I was like, this is no way in hell. This is a human being. Because look at him. This does not look like a human at all.
His skin is gray, so kind of like grayish. It's not like any pigment of any like actual human. So it seems like a person who was like tortured.
Right, but no, he was the one torturing others, and he did all this to himself.
Wow. Okay.
Now, that's how committed he was when it comes to electricity, apparently. So, yeah, I was dressed as this, wearing this mask, and I got called blackface. Nowadays, people don't even know blackface because apparently, just painting your face with just a little amount of blackface.
Right. Like when what was it? Betty White did the mud mask or something on one of her shows. People were saying it was blackface. Like, no, it's just mud. It's a procedure that's done at a spa. I don't know what it does, but I guess it makes a woman's skin smooth or something. I don't do that stuff, so I don't know.
And a little fun fact too. This wasn't the only time I was being called blackface was wearing this mask. Have you seen that show Tokyo Ghoul? Or have you seen like images of it?
No.
Well,
Is that an anime?
yeah, it's an anime.
I don't really watch anime.
So,
I'm not a weeb.
so there's this one character that he has to wear a mask because apparently in the show the ghouls have to like wear a mask to like cover their identities, and majority of it was just black, but then you see like a red mouth. But the thing is, it looked like this, like his teeth was showing into, but you know, obviously it was just a mask. And I was wearing the exact same mask too, and I got called blackface, which I don't understand. People just don't know what blackface is.
Like a convention, or we're just walking around in the streets?
Yeah, it was for TikTok videos.
Yeah, I see, like a lot of people, I guess when they don't like watch these shows or play these games, they don't know that it's just a random character or something.
Right.
I don't know, because we're in a world of cancel culture where everyone's just like easily offended by everything. So you know, like everything you do is just like cancel them, cancel this, cancel that. That's why I don't do like social media and stuff like that.
Well, before we get into the cancel culture part, but rewinding a few steps. So yeah, I got a call during blackface, and the person that was trying to call me blackface, it turns out he had a bio saying like I'm gender fluid, and I'll admit I was in the wrong. I should have not say this, but I straight up told him, hey, I don't take gender fluid seriously.
Oh, and that's where you got called a transphobe.
Well, yeah, he called me a transphobe, but I'm like thinking, but how am I a transphobe? I said gender fluid. Trans people, they exist. I know they exist. There's science have proved why they exist. Like, I'm not kidding. I saw a little documentary of, I don't know how I came across this documentary. I just did, but it showed like
you're watching YouTube videos like 3 in the morning, and then
I would
recommend it down
and I just came across that one.
Right.
But science has proved like, all right, here's a male brain, here's a female brain. Like, see, like they were like showing like, see how the male brain looks and see how the female brain like now here's a male who thinks he's a female. Now here's his brain, and it looked identical to an actual female's brain, and vice versa. Like here's a female that thinks she's a man, and it was identical just as a male's brain.
Alright.
So it's like, of course, transphobic is a real thing because science has proved it's real. It's not like, people just wake up one day like, you know what, I just feel like being trans.
Trans people? You say transphobic is a real thing because of science? I think you meant to say trans people.
Trans people, yeah.
Yeah, transphobic is the people who hate the trans people.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry if that sounded like I was being transphobic, but no, what I'm trying to say, like, yeah, they're real. I'm not transphobic. I don't care. I honestly don't care. I wouldn't say. So here's the thing about me. I do care, but I don't care about the LGBTQ. What I mean by that is like, if you come up to me and say, hey, I'm gay, okay, what are we gonna do from there? I don't really care. I accept you for being gay. I'm not gonna change you. I'm not gonna say, hey, that's against God's will. I'm like, dude, I'm straight and I have done so many things that's against God's will. But so it's like, hey, look, I don't really care if you're gay, straight, lesbian, you live your life.
Right.
Like, as long as you don't force it on me, like, if you come up to me like, hey, I'm gay, like, alright, cool. You wanna go out? Well, no, I'm straight. Oh, so you're homophobic? No, I'm just straight.
Right, it's like it's just a preference.
Like, that's the type of gay people I don't like, is they try to force you to be gay. It's like,
right.
Like, no, I'm not gonna be gay just because you want me to. Mm-hmm. But the part when I say I do care is like when people try to change them. Like, being gay is a sin. Gay is against God's will. Like, you shouldn't be gay. That's when I said, okay, look, dude, leave him the fuck alone. Because I'm pretty sure what he does compared to what you've done, he's more innocent.
Totally, yeah, because like, all these religious people are like the biggest hypocrites in the world.
They really are. They're real. You know what's really funny? So I dated this one girl. I guess she was a satanic person. Satanic, Satanist. I don't know what they really call. But
I think I don't know.
But she read the Black Bible.
No.
I don't know. Have you ever read the Black Bible?
Nope.
Yeah, apparently she did. And I guess there was a paragraph in the Black Bible that says, Christian people are one of the most fake people there is, because they always say like, oh yeah, we're loyal, we're faithful to our wives, but yet they're always looking at other females with such lust. Like,
right.
How's that being loyal?
And I'm pretty sure that's against one of the rules or whatever. To be a Christian is like lusting other people.
Right. You know what's my most favorite thing about Christian people? Or I should say about, and not just Christian people to be specific. This goes against, not against, but this goes for any religious people. Is that they're always talking about like, yeah, we gotta kill the gays, we gotta get rid of the gays, we gotta murder them, we gotta burn them, and it's like, okay, let me get this straight. Your idea of getting rid of the gays is by killing them. Isn't one of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill?
I'm pretty sure it is. They're not supposed to kill people or whatever.
And the 10 Commandments, that's like the golden rules of God, right?
Something like that.
This is like him saying, look, I only have 10 rules. 10 simple rules. And you guys follow them, you're good. And one of them is, thou shalt not kill. It doesn't say, thou shalt not kill, unless they're gay.
Yeah, it says, thou shalt not kill. And I think another one is like, thou shalt not steal or something like that.
Oh, that's still, I mean,
even there. Well, like I said, we ain't religious, so it don't really matter, but
I will say, like, when it comes to religious people, they're...
yeah.
And you know what's also funny? Before we went to the same school, I went to Maryville. And I used to hate goth people.
Huh.
I couldn't stand them. I couldn't look at them. I would never dream of being friends with them.
Right.
Because from what I learned from church,
they got the evil Satan worshippers who like to kill babies and eat children or something.
Yeah, exactly. They'll say that, or like,
I don't know what it is that they say.
They'll say that, and then I have like regular friends that will tell me like, oh yeah, don't ever hang up. They're always depressed. They're always cutting themselves. They're always listening to emotional music, and it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to fucking deal with people like that. And so I had to. I didn't really have to. I just signed up for it. But when I was in high school, I signed up for a guitar class, and this the teacher, he's fucking awesome. He really is. You know what he did?
What did he do?
So one thing I noticed when it comes to the guitar class is that we all want to play guitar, but there's like different types of people. Like you got jocks, you got nerds, you got golf people. And the one thing he noticed, like, all the goths, they got together, they got their corner, the jocks, they got their corner, nerds, they got their corner.
Right.
Everyone had their own thing, their own group. And I guess my guitar teacher, he wasn't accepting that. He's like, nope, no, we're not doing this. So he literally mixed everyone up. He was like, all right, jock, nerd, you guys are working together. Jock, goth, you're working together. And then I ended up partnering up with a goth person. I was like, fuck. I don't want to fucking deal with this person. And she was a cutter, because I saw like she would cut her wrist.
Oh, she got the scars a little bit.
Yeah. So I was like, oh god, it's one of those emo shitty people.
Right.
But I want to say thank God. I used to do this. That he did do that, because after hanging out with her and talking to her, it's like, oh, she's not that bad. She's not like the church people will say, like, they'll try to brainwash you to worship Satan or stuff like that. They're like, hey, my name is so-and-so. We're gonna learn this. We're gonna help each other. Like, no, she was really nice. She was really cool. She was emotional, but not as bad as other people will
made it seem to.
Yeah.
Alright.
Like, she'll tell me, like, yeah, my mom, she doesn't like me. Like, she didn't talk like that every day. So, like once in a while she would, but like all of a sudden we get back into we'll just play our music and whatever.
And just like forget everything else.
Yeah. And that's why I said like, don't judge a book by its cover. You know, always trying to hang out with each other, whether you're a goth, a jock, a nerd, just hang out with each other. It turns out you guys will have more in common, and I love that flashing light that's going off. I don't even know what's going on out here.
Oh no, yeah, these are like lights. I had to look.
And then that's how I ended up going to Central High.
Where it was like Goth Central, Florida.
I wouldn't really say it was Goth Central. Like,
There was like a lot.
there was a lot, but like, you know, there is priorities of a lot of people. So that's funny. So rewinding a few steps with that gender fluid person.
And
So-
we're just all over the place.
I know we always get sidetracked, but hey, you know, that's what I try to do is go back to what happened.
Alright.
So yeah, he called me transphobic, and I was thinking like, no, you said gender fluid. I am, but it's like, but how am I transphobic? And I'm talking about gender fluid people.
Right.
He's like, and then this is the part that got me. He was like, trans people are gender fluid people. Like, no, they're not. Because if gender fluid people are trans people, then they would just be called trans.
Right, they won't have their own separate letter or something.
Right.
Wait, do they even have a letter, or do they just fall under the umbilical cord of like the plus or the Q or whatever?
I think it comes with the plus. That's why they put LGBTQ plus.
I remember it was just LGBT and then LGBTQ and then LGBTQ plus. I don't know. They keep adding new letters and symbols.
The Q is for queer, right?
Yeah, which I'm
Like-
like, isn't that just being gay?
That's what
Or-
I'm thinking
or
too. Like,
lesbian?
isn't that part of being gay or lesbian? But you're kind of saying it in an insulting way.
Yeah, because I thought that word was insulting for
Maybe it's just like a new
for
brand.
gay
of
people,
gay.
just like calling someone like a dyke or a fag or something like
Right.
that.
But I don't understand sometimes. But
Which apparently to the Brits, that's just a fag is just a cigarette. To us, it's here in the U.S., it's an insult.
all right. So after I told him that, he was like, "Oh, so what are you, gender fluid professional or something? Like, do you know what a gender fluid is?" Like, look, kid, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what a gender fluid person is. Sometimes I have to ask what that word means.
Right.
But apparently, I know about it more than you, a gender fluid person. Because I even, all of a sudden, he was losing because people were backing me up and saying, like, he's not transphobic, you're just being a stupid person. And I even had people privately messaging me, like, hey, you want me to try to dig up dirt on this person? It's like, no. And I'll tell him, no, don't even do anything. He's just a dumb kid. She, I actually don't even know because this person didn't even put up a profile picture, so.
Well, if they're gender fluid, they probably just identify as it or them or something like that. Like
Yeah.
not even he or she or something. I don't know.
But I could tell they were just a dumb kid. So,
Right.
I do apologize for the gender fluid people that if I keep saying he, she, it's just, you know, if you say that so many times instead of saying they, them, because to me, the way I was taught, if you say they or them, you're talking about more than one person.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like when I say they, them, I get so confused. I'm like, wait, is there two people? Or is it one person? I can't. Ooh, quick!
Yeah. That usually goes to like multiple people, but I think nowadays it's just been co-opted as a thing for like non-binary and like gender fluidity to refer to themselves. I don't know. I guess they refer to themselves in the third person, they, them. So that's just like the third person, right?
Right. So all of a sudden, he knew he was losing. So he actually decided to privately message me, saying like, "Look, can we just discuss this privately?" And I honestly told him no, because I knew what his plan was, or what their plan. See, guys, I'm really trying here.
Right.
So I knew their plan was that if somehow they were able to make me look stupid, they're gonna like publicly be like, "Ha, I got him. He's fucking stupid.
get you to say something on message so they can screenshot it and post it. Look, see, there are a transphobe or something.
Mm-hmm. That's what they were trying to do, but obviously I didn't give in. I was like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do this. Dude, you're just stupid.
In a private message, you got more time to think about something, whereas when you're speaking face to face, like what we're doing, you gotta think about it on the fly.
Right.
So there's no like trying to be like, how do I reword this to make this person look bad or to make myself look better? You just gotta, go with it, whatever comes to mind, and just say something.
Right. And I was gonna tell this kid off too. I was like, look, like that doesn't make sense that gender fluid people are trans people, because you wouldn't call a Japanese person a Chinese person. Sure, they fall in the same category of Asian, but they're completely different.
Offended.
Yeah, they're completely fucking different
Especially
people.
If you call like a Chinese person a Japanese person, because like the Chinese people hate the Japanese people because of World War II and whatnot.
Right. But like, you see what I mean, right? Like,
yeah.
Just because they fall in the same category, that doesn't mean they're the same. Or like a Mexican and an Italian person. Like, sure, they both speak Spanish, but they're not the same people.
I think the Italians speak Italian.
Or yeah, they speak Italian, but like, I don't know. For some reason, whenever I hear them say, it sounds Spanish to me.
Because it's similar. Same thing with Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the Europeans, they speak their own language. So like the English speak English, the French speak French, the Spanish speak Spanish, the Portuguese speak Portuguese. Because that's where all the languages evolved from Europe or whatever that we all speak over here. So they speak whatever their country's language is. It's only when you come here to like this side of the world where it's a thing, like like Americans, we don't speak American, we speak English. Canadians speak English, except some of them speak French.
Right. And I always try to welcome people into my show too. Like, I may get hated for this, but I am hoping to get like racist or sexist or even homophobes into this, because here's another thing too.
You could have like a discussion with them or something.
Like, that's the only thing I want is discussion. Like, if you're just a person that just says, oh, you're just being ignorant, like, but I'm asking you a question. Why is this? Why is that? Like,
right.
I mean, if you can't answer my question, it's because you didn't think that much. You didn't think like I just think like people who doesn't protect what they believe, or how do I say it?
They can't back up their beliefs.
Yeah. It's because they were just told, like, this is the way.
They're parodying whatever the hive mind of their political side tells them to. Like, like, for example, liberals, they parody whatever, like, some liberal, like, identity tells them to. And same thing with conservatives, they parody whatever, like, I don't know, somebody conservative tells them to. But none of them got their own, like, idea.
Right.
So when you ask them, but why, they're just, and then they get angry and insult you.
Exactly, and then they just get frustrated and be like, you know what, you're just being an idiot.
That's how you know no one knows when people don't know what the heck they're talking about, is when they like try and put it back on you and insult you. It's like, no, why? Back up your claim.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, look, I'm not trying to make you look stupid. I'm just trying to figure out, why do you believe this? Or why should I change my mind if you can't even back up what you believe in?
Pretty much. I don't want to deal with politics too much, to be honest.
I honestly, not to get political here, this is probably going to make
politics spicy.
But
spicy take.
I'm not into politics, I'll say that. I'm not a political person. I don't fucking follow the presidency or what's going on in the White House. Like, I know a lot of people, that's like their main focus is what's going on. And I'm not talking about like, it's a conspiracy. Like, no, like people who...
Damn lizard people rule the world.
Right? Like the Queen, like, she recently passed away.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she was going to live forever. Like, wow. When I heard she was still alive in 2016, I was like, she's still alive? Wow, I thought she died years ago.
Kind of like Betty White, who all thought she was going to live forever, too.
No, she was
old. It's a conspiracy, man. I'm telling you. The only reason why Queen Elizabeth died because Betty White died, man.
No, but like, what I mean, like people who actually focus on the politics and be like, Joe Biden wants to change this rule. He wants to raise the taxes. He wants to like. I'm not into that. I don't really get into politics. And here's like my main reason why I don't get into politics is that whether you're a liberal, Democrat, Republic, whatever you decide to be, to me they're all the same. They're like, we'll do this for you, we'll do that for you, but at the end of the day, they don't end up doing what they promised.
Don't do jack shit.
They don't really care about you. And because this is my political view, it's like the point of the presidency is for the president to represent the American people, but yeah, we get all these jackass presidencies that other countries want. For example, like Donald Trump, when he was president.
Ooh, that's gonna trigger a lot of people because there's a lot of Trump cultists who think that he's like the second coming of Jesus or some shit.
I heard like he was the Antichrist. That's the part I heard, that he was the actual Antichrist.
Like Trump is that person who divided the whole country, divided the Christians. It's where some of them think he's the Messiah, and then there's others who think he's the Antichrist or whatever.
There's one thing I do believe, I do agree with Donald Trump when one of his speeches for running for president is that he wants to stop selling work to other countries. I honestly believe in that. Because like, can you imagine, you're just at work and all of a sudden like, oh, by the way, everyone's losing their job because I decided to sell my country.
Yeah, your job is outsourced to some person in like India or
in Japan
Africa or something. Yeah. I don't know where, somewhere else in the world. Yeah, that's pretty much the one thing that I can agree with him is like bring back manufacturing here to the U.S. Sure, it's going to raise the price of things, but it's already going up. Shit, everything costs more now.
Yeah, everything costs way freaking much.
And because of our how we have to rely on other countries like China and stuff for chips, we got cars, or at least for a while we had cars sitting in lots that couldn't be driven because they had no chips in them. So they were just sitting there doing nothing. And that halted production. And now you got dealers trying to upsell fucking cars. Like, they're trying to sell you a damn vehicle that's like, I don't know, maybe $30,000 for like $50,000.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, not to get political.
And if we had that shit here, it's easier to distribute it around the country.
Right.
But yeah, that's basically it. The one thing I didn't agree with him is the wall, because that's just a waste of money. It's like, use that money to feed the damn homeless or the whatever.
Speaking of the wall, have you personally seen the wall?
No.
I have. I went to Mexico, and I'm sorry if this insults anyone, but that wall is a fucking joke.
I've seen pictures of it. I've seen people climbing it.
Yeah, like pictures, it made the wall look huge, but in person,
it's pathetic.
It is. Like, literally, it's like, that's the wall.
And you know what the thing is? When Donald Trump was trying to like raid that wall, like, this is the best thing ever. He did this law. It's like, we tried it with our special forces. They couldn't get it.
That's like my number one thing I like about Donald Trump is those hands. Like, we're gonna do this millions.
Yeah, it's funny watching him. That's the one thing. Like, people are like, I hate that guy. I'm like, no, that guy's funny.
He's hilarious. Like, especially when he says random numbers, he'd be like, it's gonna cost us trillions. Okay, millions. Be like, dude, where the fuck are you getting these numbers? Like, I'm pretty sure he's just saying it, and people are like, hell yeah, millions, dude. It's like,
pretty sure he's just making all that shit up.
He's like, I'm just fucking with these people. I'm just gonna say millions of dollars, and people are like, yeah, millions of dollars. It's like, okay, but where's those millions of dollars coming from?
That's the thing. No one knows. If it wasn't coming in from our taxes or anything like that.
Most likely it did.
Probably, or I don't know.
Did you know that we're the only country that does taxes?
Well, I think other countries do taxes. They just don't do it like we do.
Like, in Australia, there's no such thing as tax. Like, if you go to the store and it says, oh, this thing is $2, that's it. It's literally just $2. There's no $2.50, $2.85. It's just $2. That's it.
Yeah, we're the only country that adds a tax to purchase after, where it's like think in Europe they have the value added tax VAT, which is included in your purchase. So something is $2, they mark on the price, the markup, so it'll be like $2.80 something or $2.13, but it'll be right on the sticker price.
Right. All right. So we are at the 5-minute mark. In case I haven't mentioned this, I mentioned it. I think I mentioned this either during the podcast or before we started. I try to do my shows at least an hour, up to an hour. I don't know if I mentioned that. I know I talked to you about it, but I don't know if I mentioned that while we were filming. But yeah, we're at the 5-minute mark. I don't know if there's like some last minute things you want to say, or you want to stop it right here.
I don't know. I mean, I think we kind of did like because from what I know, this was supposed to be like 1 or 2 different episodes or something, and we kind of did.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do multiple episodes, but we actually ended up talking about more things than
just
we had on the list.
Yeah, because it was just like random stuff.
See, doing podcasts is really fun. It's really easy.
Right.
You just talk about random shit. You just say what's ever on your mind. I mean, not really what's on your mind, because you gotta really be careful of that cancel culture shit.
Well, I mean, my mind works a little different, so like I don't really think about like things that would really get me canceled, because I don't know. You know, some people gotta watch themselves really well. I'm like, man, I just say stuff.
Like, I'll admit, I'll say things that's probably gonna get me canceled later in the future, because at this point, anything gets you canceled.
Kind of, I guess. I don't know.
Like, so, just like real quick before our time's up. Like, I used to believe in cancel culture. Like, when they would say things like, "Oh, this celebrity said something racist last night," or "This person attacked someone 2 days ago because they were gay." Like, that's a perfect reason to cancel this person. Like, if they just did a hate crime recently, that's a perfect reason. But if it's something that happened like 10 years ago, it's like, all right, you know what? This person used to say homophobic shit, but he ended up learning the error of He ended up learning the error of his ways. Get over it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get behind is the digging up people's past and trying to like crucify them for that. Like, if they do something heinous, like, they murder somebody, or they do a crime, then obviously they probably should be deplatformed for a while.
Right. Or does this happen like you? Because I'll admit, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say which one, but I was a racist. I'm not gonna say which race, because I don't want people fucking coming attack me like, "Oh, so you hated that race." But like, yeah, you know what?
Oh, people are gonna think the worst now.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a racist before, but I learned the error of my ways.
I would have never pegged you for a racist, man.
No, I'll probably tell you about it after the show.
Okay, because like, as long as I've known you, you never said any like racist shit. And we've been friends with people like of all like
all kinds of race. But
exactly.
Like,
in our friend group, we had like, like me and you were of Hispanic descent or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we had like black friends, we had white friends, we had Asian friends. We even had people who were LGBTQ plus.
Right.
Back then it was just LGBT.
But like, I just think like, hey, it shouldn't matter by the color of your skin, the preference of sexuality you want. It's like, I judge you for who you are. If you're a bad person, I'm not gonna fuck with you. If you're a good person, of course I'm gonna fuck with you.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like, and that's kind of like today's problem. Like, people want, even if like, for example, if someone is like, say, gay and they're a piece of shit, they're like, how dare you? Like, that shouldn't be a thing. If they're a piece of shit, they're a piece of shit, regardless of whatever, like, gender or sexuality or race they are.
Right. All right, so we're at the last minute. So this was a good episode. Again, a lying mask, the cat. Remember, he's the cat, not the other name. I'm trying to forget the other name. But we will be making more episodes in the future. Until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast and hope to do another one.
Goodbye.